Three evil teens that should never be released from prison. Devin Moore turned 18 on May 15, 2003, and graduated from high school a few weeks later. He seemed like he had a bright future. He had no criminal record and was a few weeks away from leaving his small town of Fayette, Alabama, to start a career in the Air Force. On June 3, 2003, at 3 a.m., Officer James Crump and Officer Arnold Strickland approached Moore as he was sleeping in a vehicle in a restaurant parking lot. After learning the vehicle was stolen, they arrested him and took him to the Fayette Police Department. While booking Moore, they learned that a business near where the car was stolen had been burglarized. Whoever the burglar was had left a shoe print behind. The officers suspected Moore was behind that crime. They removed his handcuffs to obtain his fingerprints and one of his shoes to make a print of it. Rather than take the punishment for car theft and burglary, Moore decided to kill. He grabbed Officer Strickland's pistol and shot him in the head. Then he walked across the hall and shot Officer Crump in the head. As he was leaving the station, he ran into police dispatcher Leslie Mealer and shot him too. All three men died at the scene. Moore went to the Fayette Fire Department, which was in the same building as the police department, and told a couple of firemen that something bad had happened up front. From there, he stole a police cruiser. He was arrested in Mississippi 4 hours later with Officer Strickland's gun in the cruiser. Reports indicate that after he was captured, he stated, "Life is a video game. Everybody's got to die sometime." He also stated he committed the crime because he didn't want to go to jail. People would later try to blame the game Grand Theft Auto Vice City for his actions. The families of Moore's victims sued the makers of the game and several retailers that sold the game for $600 million. They ended up losing the case. When Moore went to trial, his defense could not blame the game for his actions. They did try to say he was in a dissociative state and wasn't responsible for his actions. A jury of his peers sided with the prosecution and convicted him of 6 counts of capital murder in August 2005, after deliberating for 1 hour. A judge sentenced him to death by lethal injection on October 9, 2005. On October 22, 2013, 14-year-old Philip Chisholm, who classmates saw as soft-spoken and pleasant, committed an unthinkable crime when he violated and murdered his 24-year-old teacher, Colleen Ritzer, in his high school bathroom after school. People worldwide were stunned by his young age and the location of the crime. Seeing many of his movements before and after the crime on surveillance video was even more stunning. As Ritzer walked down the empty hall and headed to the bathroom, Chisholm looked around to see if there were any witnesses. He seemed reluctant to act on his devious thoughts and turned back toward the classroom. Seconds later, he put on his hood and followed his teacher into the bathroom as he pulled the gloves from his pocket. 11 minutes later, he emerged from the bathroom alone. His 24-year-old teacher's body remained inside. He later brought a garbage can into the school and wheeled it into the bathroom. He put his teacher, who police believe was still alive at the time, in the garbage can. He then rolled it out to the woods, where he violated her with a foreign object, slit her throat, and sexually posed her. After he got cleaned up, he went to see the movie Blue Jasmine at 4:30 p.m. using Ritzer's credit card. His mother reported him missing at 6:30 p.m. when she couldn't reach him. At around 9 p.m., Ritzer was reported missing when she didn't go home and wasn't answering her cell phone. At 12:30 a.m. the next day, police located Chisholm and took him into custody. Around that same time, police went to the school looking for Ritzer and saw her car in the parking lot. Once inside the building, they saw blood in the bathroom. At 3 a.m., they found her body in the woods, naked from the waist down with her throat slit. Police found Chisholm's ID and other items belonging to him 10 feet from her body. Once they realized he might be connected to the murder, they searched him and found a bloody box cutter, a mask, a hooded sweatshirt, and gloves in his backpack. He also had his dead teacher's identification, credit cards, and her underwear. When questioned about the murder, he confessed, although prosecutors weren't able to use the confession in court because a judge ruled that he didn't understand his rights at the time. He was charged as an adult with first-degree murder, rape, and robbery, and pled not guilty. At his 2015 trial, His lawyer tried to argue that he was insane, saying that he had early-onset schizophrenia. He added that Philip was responding to terrible hallucinations that were in his head. He didn't choose to do this. The jury didn't buy it and convicted him of all charges. A judge later sentenced him to 40 years to life in prison. He will be 54 when he faces a parole board for the first time. May 9, 2001 was Mother's Day. And when 13-year-old Tristan Bailey's sisters went to wake her up so they could make their mother breakfast, she wasn't in her room. Unable to find the Patriot Oaks Academy 7th grader in the home or contact her via cell phone, the family searched the neighborhood for 20 minutes before calling 911. They told authorities they had come home from a celebration at 11:45 p.m. the previous night. Bailey's sister revealed she saw Bailey in the garage on video chat talking to a white male around midnight. Police took the case seriously and were able to make contact with many of Tristan's friends. They learned that she had snuck out and gone to the nearby home of her friend Trey. After talking with Trey, police learned that she arrived at his home at around 12:30 a.m. and hung out with him and 14-year-old Aiden Fucci. Trey revealed the trio hung out for 30 minutes before Fucci and Bailey left his home together. Police questioned Fucci and he showed them where he and Tristan walked. He revealed they left Trey's home at 1 a.m. and went their separate ways between 3 and 3:30 a.m. When the police inquired why it would take them 2 or more hours to walk 1.4 miles back to their neighborhood, he changed his story. He told authorities Bailey grabbed him below the belt, so he pushed her, causing her to fall and hit her head. He claimed he left her there, walked around alone, and returned home between 3 and 3:30 a.m. After that, he refused to answer any more questions. After talking to the police, Fucci posted a Snapchat from the back of the police car with the line, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristan lately?" At around 6 p.m. on May 9, 2021, hours after questioning Fucci, Tristan's body was found near a pond by her home. She had been stabbed 114 times, and her hand was on her chin like she had been posed. She had the word karma and a smiley face written on her body. After finding Bailey's body, Fucci was brought back in for questioning, but he refused to speak. Still, while he was alone with his parents in the interrogation room, he made incriminating statements. By the morning, police had Fucci's bloody clothes he was wearing at the time of the murder. They had the murder weapon, which was found at the scene. They also had a sheath matching the knife which they found in Fucci's room. They had a surveillance video showing Fucci and Bailey headed toward the pond together at around 1:45 a.m. At 3:27 a.m., the video showed Fucci leaving the pond area by himself and carrying his shoes in his hand. Investigators also learned Fucci had a thirst for blood and told friends he was planning to lure someone into the woods and kill them. He was arrested and charged with second-degree murder the morning after Bailey's body was found. Eventually, the charges were upgraded to first-degree murder. He was about to go to trial in February 2023, but decided to plead guilty. A month later, a judge sentenced him to life in prison. His case can be reviewed in 25 years, and a positive review could reduce his sentence.